Hi guys, Anya's here. I'm back with my series interviewing the most amazing women entrepreneurs in health, fitness, and wellness industry. Today I have an honor and pleasure of interviewing Veronica Culver. Hi Veronica, how are you
Hi,
doing today?
excellent. How are you, Anya?
I'm doing great, thank you. I was preparing because I was reading your bio. I was preparing and memorizing because you wear so many hats, and I love it. So, guys, some of my people, some of my readers know about you because I refer to your recipes, and I think I've been following you for a while. And I started with your bulletproof bread. That's I was trying to remember
Oh,
how did I run into you.
yeah,
So
yeah.
it's been a while on social media, mostly on Instagram. So Veronica Culver is a healthy food, fitness, and wellness influencer. She is very popular on Instagram. I absolutely love her mouth-drooling posts of food and bulletproof drinks.
Thank you.
She's a bulletproof queen. I call her. Call you that.
Thanks.
She is also, and correct me if I don't say it right, Legree, certified Legree fitness instructor, health coach, runner, and boxing enthusiast.
Yes.
Food and recipe developer. I think I
Oh,
got
yeah.
all of them.
Yes, yes, yes.
I tried. So she has the most incredible recipes, and they've been featured and rewarded with many awards online and in publishing. And she is with us today to answer some questions. And so I think we're going to have fun talking about all things food, fitness, and wellness.
My favorite topics.
Thank you so much for taking this time to talk to me.
Thank you, Anya. It's really an honor to be invited to join your podcast. So thank you so much.
Yeah, so that's what I know about you. Now I want you to tell us a little bit more about you in terms of your background. Have you always been in health and fitness industry? How did you start your blog? Things like a little bit going back. How did it start? How did the Veronica Culver, the Enchanted Cook, came live?
Yeah, yeah, absolutely. So that's an easy one. That was about 8 or 9 years ago or something like that. I started my blog, which is all recipes and food photos. I kind of have always taken pictures of my food. So even back when, like, I think people were like thinking you're weird when you pull your phone out and take a picture of your food at a restaurant, or you're at home and you're like, oh my gosh, I just made this really neat thing. It looks so good. I just am a picture taker. I always have been. So I was started posting those things on my Facebook. And again, people were like, why are you spamming my feed with, food pictures? This was a long time ago. And I was like, I don't know. I just like the pictures, I have to. So I don't know, one thing led to another. And then I was like, people would ask for the recipe and then I'd be like, oh, it's, whatever. And so I was like, I'll just put it on the, online. So I started it that way and started sharing recipes. And sometimes in the beginning it was like, maybe a celebrity chef's recipe. So I would always be like, this is Tyler Florence's recipe and it's amazing. And here's how I made it. So then I would show like little steps of, breaking it down to make it maybe a little easier for someone who hasn't cooked before or something like that. I've been cooking a long time. I mean, a long time, since I was really a little kid. My parents both worked. Myself, my two brothers, we all had our responsibilities around the house, and one of my responsibilities was cooking, believe it or not. So yeah, so I've had a long time to learn how to go chopped in the kitchen, where you're just like looking in the pantry, what do we have, all right, I can make this. So yeah, so that's kind of that was the beginning of my blog, and it's just kind of blossomed from there. And I usually just I'm very if you get me in a conversation, it's kind of hard to get me to stop talking. So
I love that. I will take it.
so with my each recipe, I usually share kind of what the inspiration was, why I wanted it that day, what was I thinking or whatever. So I try to keep it short and hopefully it's not boring, but that's kind of the behind
It's so interesting. So from very little age, and how did you get into more professional? Because your recipes, your pictures and recipes, they look professional, like you've been trained. Did you have any formal training?
Self-taught, definitely self-taught, and years and years of doing it. And I feel like when you love doing something, when it's just like second nature,
Yeah.
things come easier to you. And then also just the repetitive nature, because, you know, if you think about it, you know, you get up every morning, if you do the same thing every morning, you kind of get really good at it. So, so
That's
it's, yeah. So it's, I'm not saying I'm really good at what I'm doing, but I love doing it, and I do it all the time, like all day long, every day.
Oh, wow.
I can't not do it, you know, so
Right. Have
that's
you
how
tried taking a
um, I do try.
break?
And sometimes I'll take a few days and I'll be
Mhm.
like, you know, I'll intentionally say to my husband, you know, okay, I'm going to make this dinner and I'm not taking any pictures of it. Like it's that big of a deal. I'm not going to, is he, for his birthday, he asks for me to cook a meal and not
Mhm.
take any pictures of it.
Oh,
That's only
that's
so
a
I'll be
big
like,
one
I can
here.
do this. I can do this. And then literally I put it on an ugly plate, you know, I'm like, just grab anything else, you know, and I sit down, and right before I'm going to eat it, I was like, no, it just looks too bad. I cannot, you know. So I'm like, I just want to remember it, you know. I can't. It's
That's
impossible.
amazing. And your photography skills are phenomenal. How did you learn that?
So I actually have some professional equipment that I have, you know, taught myself how to use, but
Yeah.
you know, iPhones are like so amazing. You know, I do everything, you know, with my iPhone now. I literally it's just point and shoot. So my number one tip on that is always lighting.
Lighting.
So it's lighting, lighting, lighting. I mean, just like in real estate, it's location, location, location. You know, it's lighting, lighting, lighting when you're taking pictures. That's everything.
Yeah, that's good because sometimes you do trying to. I never my pictures are rarely look good, but as soon as I use
Oh,
the lighting,
you're
it's
amazing.
with your face too, right? You have to. All right, how good is that? Here
Where's
or
my,
there, right?
yes, where's my light?
Yeah, right. So you didn't have any formal training, you just learned and you implemented. You have a very unique style. I like it. It's always so
Thank
vibrant, all the colors. So yeah, I just want to lick my screen every time I
you.
see.
Yay. Thank you.
I think you're going for it, right? It's
That's my
intentional.
goal. That's my goal, to have a lot of, you know, phones that are, you know, have a big bite taken out of them. So.
So what is your favorite part about this creative work in terms of photography or cooking and chopping? What gets you going when you're doing that?
You know, I think it's coming up with new recipes or new ways to make, you know, old recipes. That's probably one of my favorite things. You know, it's just the way my mind works all the time. So like if you know, I get an email and it's from, you know, a restaurant and they're like, oh, you know, this, you know, week we have these specials or whatever. And I'll be like, oh my gosh, that looks so good. Oh, I should make, or it's just always whatever comes in, it's always processing, you
Yeah.
know, to how can I, you know, I don't know, make it myself, or, you know, how can I enjoy this thing or whatever. And then just through the last many years of trying to be way more health conscious and like becoming aware of so many things I wasn't aware of, you know, 10
Right.
years ago, kind of adapting and changing, you know,
Mhm.
those recipes and those ways that I've cooked previously, to reflect, you know, my current views on health and wellness. So
Yeah.
it's just very exciting to be able to do that, and then be able to share it. Because it's one thing to do it for yourself and for your family, and I think it's just a whole other, you know, because you share so much of yourself, and you know, you're a health coach and all of that, so you share so much of your time and your heart and your energy with
Yeah.
other people. And that is, you know, it's just a blessing to be able to do that. So that just lights my fire.
I think so. I think so. I think you're doing a phenomenal job on carrying it to the masses because so many women look at your pictures and they read the comments and they get inspired by what you do. What were the, you mentioned some health revelations in the last few years. What were the major discoveries for you?
Yeah, a lot around the impact. These are all going to sound like old news to your audience because your audience is very educated, and you know, if they've been following you, they know, you know, these things. But you know, 10 years ago, it was things like, you know, our our food system and all the crap that's been done to it, how it's been destroyed. You know, being more conscientious about, you know, uh, where the food is coming from, not just believing what, big food says, when I see the commercial on TV and running out and buying, whatever it is. So, becoming more educated about our food system, and all of that, but also, hormones, how all of that impacts our natural, body's responses to things. Just that whole, the crux of the primal paleo, movement. And I'm very blessed and fortunate that I haven't had, a major like illness or anything like that I've had to come back from. But, I know plenty of people, family members, who have, and, it's just you learn very quickly that the food matters. What you eat matters.
Yeah. Do you fall into category? I don't like putting labels personally, just clean eating, it's bulletproof, it's paleo, primal, keto. Where do you fall? Where do you find you're feeling your best? Where do you find you educate people your best? What is your little niche?
For me, it's bulletproof for sure. I definitely, I just feel like it suits me. But I think there's something, for everyone. And not only is there something, for everyone is different at different stages in their life and like in their, with their body. So, what might be right for me today may not be right for me 2 years from now, but that's the beauty of like, biohacking and things like that. It's like paying attention to your body, listening, learning, growing, educating yourself and adapting and changing to what you need at that time. So
do you feel like bulletproof, that's what you've been called for, to sharing the most with your audience? That's how did it start? How did you find Bulletproof Coffee and the company? And I know you're ambassador for them, right?
I am an ambassador for them. And 100%, I definitely feel, Bulletproof Diet changed my life. Everything about it. I would say it was a few years ago. Of course, I'd heard of Bulletproof Coffee before that, but it was just some sort of, I don't know, urban legend or something. I didn't really have any, personal experience with it. And I think at some point along the line, I bought something. I was at a cycling shop, and they had some Bulletproof products, and I was like, had never really seen them in person. So I was like, oh, what's this collagen thing, and I'm reading about it. I'm like, I think I'll buy this, and the brain octane oil. And I was like, and then they sat in my kitchen for a while. I really didn't start to incorporate them, but then gradually I was like, maybe I'll try the Bulletproof Coffee, and I, made it and I tried it, and I was like, oh my gosh, this stuff is changing everything about the way I feel. And, I think one of the questions you may or may not ask me is what kind of gets me excited and like why I, jump out of bed every morning or whatever. And it's like, it is Bulletproof Coffee, like the actual Bulletproof Coffee, not the company, not the, the actual Bulletproof Coffee. So, and actually I wake up still to this day, and that's the first thing I think about. I'm like, I hear my grinder going off because I have an automatic, grind and brew thing, and I hear it going off. I'm like, yes. So
awesome. So why does it get you so excited? That's absolutely beautiful. I can see you picking up even your body's moving. You're excited.
It makes me feel good.
Yeah.
And that's the thing. It's like, if you ever not felt good, you know what a blessing it is.
Yeah.
So I feel great every day. And I mean, obviously, some days I have bad days or, whatever, I'm tired or something like that. But it fires up the creative side of my brain. I definitely, over these last few years of, becoming more bulletproof, I've definitely adapted my body because I'm also, in fitness. So I run and do a lot of things. I do all of my workouts fasted. But it's been an evolution. I mean, I'll run an entire half marathon. I know you just ran a half marathon, right? Yeah. So I'll run an entire half marathon with no food in my system, completely fasted. But that took time to get to that point. And it's just a wonderful feeling to be fueled by your body's, fat and all of that. So you get a lot of energy and a lot of strength from it and endurance. So
That's amazing. And I definitely can relate. And usually, I don't know if it happens to you, it happens to me every single half marathon. If you strike up a conversation with someone running next to you, and I usually carry my water, or sometimes I don't even bother, just electrolytes. And they ask you a question, where's your food?
yeah.
There's no, I don't need food for 2 hours or some minutes, right? Because that's the mentality of us consistently fueling our body and abusing the hormones, and especially for women. I'm not talking about the guys. We're focusing on women, but it's really, it's almost ridiculous that the mentality is so hard to break through. And I'll be honest with you, my brother messaged me the other day. He got on a diet. He got a little chubby over the winter, and he said that he's eating 6 meals a day. And I was just sitting there like, all right, I'm going to see you next week. We're going to talk, not to change the person, but it's just people that don't know. They don't know they can work out fasted. They don't know they're going to have an extra boost of energy after that, right?
And then it's going to last longer. Definitely. Yeah, it's going to be more sustained, the energy. It's not going to be burn off the sugars from the carbs, and then you're done and I need to refuel again. No, I mean, you can just keep going for a long time. But I am a firm believer that, different, like I said earlier, different strokes for different folks, and everybody's at a different, in a different place in their life, and what works for one person may not work for another. And I know I have friends who feel like they definitely need to eat every, 5 or 6 times a day, and that works for them, and that's great. Just for me personally, this works so well for me. I love it.
Yeah, you're
I'm a daily intermittent faster, and also extended faster, which is another, I think, fun topic. So I talk about it a little bit on my YouTube channel, but it's a really awesome thing for people who are looking to change their health or reset their body, because it's been so jacked up by all the stuff that's, around us, our food system and our environment. So
yeah, I think there is so much to it. I think it's bulletproof. It's not only the coffee, like people say. It's became a brand, and everybody. I actually been to Los Angeles a few weeks ago, and I was so happy. There was a place, I think it was close to Huntington Beach. They were selling bulletproof coffee in the store. I was so excited.
Oh my goodness!
Yeah, so I was so excited.
Awesome.
Just like making coffee in a coffee shop, and I've never seen that anywhere yet so far.
Yeah, it's growing. Definitely growing.
Is there a Veronica's favorite recipe? We need to know.
Many. I have so many. I mean,
like bulletproof coffee. I didn't specify.
Okay. Yeah, favorite bulletproof coffee. Different on different days. But I think probably one of my favorites is my bulletproof cocoa mocha recipe. And it's basically it's pretty simple. I always start with bulletproof coffee. So I use their beans. They're lab tested for to be low in toxins. So I use their beans. I use their brain octane oil. That's always my preferred. And then some days I do grass-fed butter. Some days I do full-fat coconut milk, or some combination of that. Some days I do ghee. So that part varies. So I make my bulletproof coffee. Then I start to add stuff. So I'll add to that one. I'll use like full-fat coconut milk. I'll add like raw cacao or the bulletproof chocolate powder. Same thing. So I'll add some of that to make it super dark and chocolatey. It has no sugars. And then I may add something like I use the bulletproof hot chocolate because it's kind of a one and done thing. But you could easily just put more chocolate powder, raw cacao, and birch xylitol or whatever your preferred stevia, whatever your preferred sweetener is. It comes out, it's very dark mocha, coffee, chocolate, coconut. It's so good.
And it's so healthy. I love it.
But it doesn't taste healthy. It's like
no.
Yeah, no, it doesn't taste healthy. Although I don't know, healthy tastes pretty good to me. So I think
most healthy, people. Right?
What's that?
Healthy to you?
Does what?
Butter.
Oh, butter. Yes. I love butter.
Awesome. Well, thank you for sharing this one. And that's something I wanna write it down. I'm gonna write
Yeah,
it down.
I think I have it posted on my the Enchanted Cook Facebook page. I'll probably try to post it again soon on my Instagram.
Yeah.
My Instagram, I try to keep, I try to, put recipes on there as much as possible, and then, in my stories and on Instagram, I usually try to share, like, if I'm making something that day, like the last couple of days, I've been doing like a round two recipe kind of a thing. So it's
Mhm.
like, make these roasts the first day and we're doing this, and then I'm using the leftover the roast, shredding it, it's going to be Taco Tuesday tonight. So I'll do things like that, and I'll share like every step in my story, and hopefully it's not boring, but you can just start scrolling right through. Click right through, like next.
Then
But
you don't have
I,
to answer all the questions, just send people to your stories. That's very helpful, honestly. I think it's very helpful. And I was thinking, just I was listening to you, I was like, how did I tried your bulletproof bread recipe a couple of years ago, and ever since that, I think I share the recipe with every single of my clients, my one-on-one clients.
I,
It's in the list of recipes, so basically I got incorporated in my little book. I give away.
that's awesome. I love it. Love it. Love it.
It's a great recipe. I want to shift gears a little bit and talk to you about fitness because
Yeah. Yeah.
all the
Fitness.
time. I think it's another big excitement for you.
I know. I'm going to jump off the couch any minute.
So how did you start? Were you always fit and athletic in the past? And how did you come to all those fun things? I see you doing boxing more and more lately. You're running. You're doing some Pilates once in a while, right? So all
Yeah.
those fun things. How did it start?
Um, to answer your first question, have I always been fit? I would say no. I've definitely gone up and down, up and down, up and down. I don't know too many women who haven't been on that roller coaster
Yeah.
of like this, month, everything's great. Next month, it's just like, or every week. Um, but I don't know, when your hormones start sort of changing, and that's different, ages for different women. But when mine started changing, and it was kind of gradual, but like, all the things I tried before weren't working, and then I had to try new things, and then those weren't working, and like nothing was really, like beating my head against a pole. I was like, I couldn't even run far enough to make, or fast enough to make, to metabolize, whatever was going on. So that's kind of how I started, like trying different fitness routines. And one thing that I've been doing this for the last, I don't know, 4 or 5 years or whatever, but the Legree fitness thing, that's with the Megaformer. And
Yeah.
we all, it's not Pilates, it's Legree, but it was based in the Pilates method. So
I'm so
that,
educated. Forgive me for that.
and
I googled it, but I
I
had no idea.
will say to people, because a lot of people don't know what a megaformer is, and they don't know what Legree fitness is. So I'll usually say, it's kind of like Pilates, but it's just more intense and just different, because Pilates can be more for restorative and like healing your body, and and things like that. And this is definitely a full body workout. But it started changing my body, and I was like, yes, okay, this is working. And then around the same time, I was figuring out my nutrition, and then healing kind of my hormone situation. Everything finally came together. And now, and I was running, still continuing to run,
Mhm.
bicycling, mostly for fun on that one. And then doing the Megaformer workout, I started teaching it as well. I got certified to teach it, because I do feel if there was only one thing I could do, and I love fitness and I love doing multiple things, but if I could only do one, it would be that.
Really?
So that's the one that I
Just
chose.
about to.
Yeah, that I
Just
chose
about
to
to ask
invest
you that.
my money and time in, to be able to teach other people that method. But it's very effective for the full body. And then lately, boxing. Oh my god,
Yeah.
I was like posting away about boxing.
Yeah, I know.
It just appeals to my inner fighter. I think I just wrote about that recently, and it's like,
Wow, that's
we
interesting.
all have an inner fighter,
Okay,
right? And I mean, we wouldn't
I can
be
agree.
surviving today these times unless we had that in us. And so, for some it's a little deeper down, and for some, it's more obvious.
Mhm.
But yeah, it appeals to that sort of, aggressive survivor side of me, and I just love, getting in there. And it's not with another, you don't fight another person.
Good.
I'm not going down the street and just, starting fights. No, you're hitting a heavy bag, and you're breaking a tremendous sweat, and it's just a great endorphin rush and great workout. So boxing is my current, definitely obsession.
Yeah. It's a good healthy obsession. You don't have to punch people and be like obsessed with drivers cutting you off, right? You take it to a place and you expose.
I'm way nicer. I'm more patient with everyone after I've been to boxing. So
yeah, and it's a different gym, right? From like Real Fitness Gym, that's where you're separate. You're trying to navigate. That leads me to a question. You sound like you're doing things all the time. What is your day like? What is your self-care routine like? Is there a time for self-care for you? And what's Veronica's day like?
Yeah, I mean, I put fitness in my self-care category.
Okay.
So it just makes me a better person. So whether I'm on the megaformer or whether I'm in the studio boxing or, running out on the street, whatever it is, that's in my, top self-care. I don't do a lot of things like, crazy skincare routines or, I shouldn't say crazy, I should say elaborate, I'm not really big for myself on things like that. I'm mostly lazy when it comes to those things. Obviously I put on makeup and I do my hair, things like that, but I'm not, like, oh my God, I got to wash everything off tonight. I got to put all these layers of things and then I'm going to sleep and wake up beautiful. I just, I don't have time for that. I'm not someone who goes and gets massages, even though I believe in them wholeheartedly. I just don't make the time to do it. So it's really just fitness and food, the things I talk about all the time. That's my self-care routine. Yeah. I get good sleep.
Yeah.
People ask me all the time, like, what's your number one thing, that you think is the most important? Sleep to me. Yeah. So I get very good sleep. It's my goal in life is to get the best sleep I can possibly get. And then it makes everything else easier.
Do you have any secrets? I'm sorry.
I said sleep's number one, and secrets, not so much.
Do you have a routine that worked for you very well? Because I work with women, and you notice, it's astonishing how many women have sleep problems, especially the older we get. And I've been noticing if I had 2 drinks, it's disrupted. So I have to learn and navigate through it, and also helping my clients. I notice people, especially women who have hormonal changes, they struggle with good sleep. And do you have any routines that help you to establish good sleep?
I try different things all the time. So, because been there, done that with the, hormonal issues and like, not being able to sleep or waking up, whatever it is. And some things you kind of just have to do the best you can and weather through them and keep trying to find the little things that work. But the things for me that have remained constant, I would say having a set bedtime is probably number one. Absolutely. Having your body be in that routine is very helpful. So whatever that sort of general time frame is, if it's 9 o'clock, if it's 12 o'clock in the night, whatever, just kind of your body's used to it. So having that routine, kind of having that set wake up time, even on the weekends, I wake up at the same time. My body just wakes up. Yeah, and so just kind of having that set routine, I'd say that's number one. And then if you have a great little bedtime ritual, that's very helpful too. Turn the TV off. Maybe I know a lot of people say don't get on social media and don't play with your phone, when you're laying in bed and things like that. But that actually relaxes me. So I will, that's the last thing I do before I go to sleep. And I'm not recommending that. I'm just saying that that's what works.
I mean, it's very individualized. Sometimes I just scroll, like, not socially likely, I would say, almost, and just recap in the day. If something good happened and you see someone's post, and that's all right. But some people, I understand, some people get very triggered emotionally and they stay up and they can't fall asleep, and all the overload of social media and phone time that can happen. But that's beautiful. I love it. And the question I was going to ask you was in my notes, like, what gets you up in the morning? But I think I know the answer. I want to hear from you, though. What gets you up in the morning?
Bulletproof coffee.
Do you smell the coffee grinding?
I do. I hear it grinding. I smell it, and then I'm like, it's like Pavlov's dog. I'm like, yes, I'm about to have my bulletproof coffee. So,
Mhm.
and to be fair, I don't always start with a full bulletproof. I mean,
Okay.
some days I start with black, just black coffee, and I like, then maybe I'll just add brain octane oil right into my cup and stir, don't even blend it. And then,
Yeah.
days I'll make the full on. It's just some version of bulletproof coffee is what I look forward to in the mornings.
Nice.
Other things too, but
Yeah. Do you work out in the morning or do you work out during the day? What kind of person are you? You work out fast,
I
right?
I prefer morning workouts. I think I'm a morning person. So I, wake up early. I like to enjoy my coffee. I like to catch up on, the news of the day. And then I like to get a workout in. And, sometimes by the afternoon, it's hard to, extricate myself from what else is going on to go work out. So
Yeah.
it's more of a challenge to me, to get to go work out in the evenings, but I do that also.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, but mornings are preferred for me.
That's awesome. I love it. I love it how much you're sharing in terms of, because there are people who's still figuring it out what works for them, and I always find it helpful when someone's sharing their personal stories because everything is so individualized, but picking up pieces from others, I think that's how we build our routines and our health and wellness. Because I'm thinking about my own story. 7 years ago, I was not fit at all, and I was just learning from people like you.
Oh,
Just
that's
tiny, tiny bits, right? I'm going to shift gears again because I have more questions for you, and those are
yeah.
a little bit more serious questions. I
Okay.
ask you because you're so bubbly and happy all the time. I know, and you're an energizer bunny. How did you, if you ever had challenges with your business or fitness or personal challenges, what helps you, what moves you through them? And if you ever had any of those in the last 2 years, what helped you to, whether it's health related or fitness related or some frustrations, what helps you to move through them and overcome them?
I think, uh, you know, I mean, I think it's just a mindset or an attitude that I don't have a choice, and it's kind of like I don't allow myself to, to be like, no, I can't do that. Or, if it's got to be done, you do it, and if you're, especially if you're a mom and I'm a mom and, it's like, you just know that's certain things you have to do. And, let's say, I mean, if you run a $1 billion, 5,000 person company, employee company, there's certain things you just have to do.
Yeah.
You don't get to choose whether you can feel like it that day or not. So
Yeah.
I think I just go with that mindset. I could, do it. And one thing lately that's sort of helped me when I'm having a stressful day or, I'm going to do my best. I meditate and I do a lot of things I take a lot of, Chinese herbs and things like that, to just be sure that I can try to, stay at this, great pace all the time. But
Yeah.
some days, something gets to you, could be whatever. Right. And so when I'm having a day like that and I realize, like, I have a conscious moment, oh Lord, I'm just having all these negative thoughts and I'm really, irritable and angry and I'm going to bite someone's head off. I literally, through the clenching, I will just make myself smile, physically make myself smile.
Yeah.
And when that, it's really weird, but somehow it relaxes everything. And then I'm like, it's okay. It's going to be okay.
A lot of emotions I notice too. If I'm having a hard day and I'm driving, I clench my jaw. And many more people, if you notice, they're even trainings now to unclench your jaw because we've just built up. But it's beautiful. And you said you meditate. And I can't. First of all, I can't imagine you having a bad day.
I do.
It's impossible.
No, for sure.
We all do.
Yeah.
Of course, we all do. It just doesn't show in some people because you have such open personality. Do you meditate? Do you have any specific meditations you like?
I do. There's one that I use, this app. I don't remember the name of it. I can actually give it to you afterwards, but I think it's called Breathe app. But it's one, and there's a particular guy on there that I listen to. It's the same one. It's like every night, I try to listen, not every night, but I try. And it's very soothing. I think it lasts like 7 minutes or something, and he just kind of talks you through it, and you're just like, close your eyes, you know. And then same thing in the morning, there's like a kind of a wake up one. And it just kind of sets the mood for the day. But the other thing I do that I think, the breathing thing, which kind of falls in the meditation arena, right? The
Yeah.
breath and all of that, is the thing that, I have a bunch of books here next to me. I want to show you this one. Tammy Moralia, The Hormone Secret. So I love this book, by the way. You probably have it. You've probably read it. But she talks about something called Take 5. And I try to teach my clients this too, as much as, you know, possible. It's a breathing exercise.
Mm-hmm.
And you can do it in your car. If you're stuck in traffic, you can do it laying down in bed. You can do it at your desk. You can literally do it anywhere. But it's called Take 5. And it's like, it's like a deep inhale and hold, and then a slow exhale. And you do it like 5 times. But I highly recommend it. It calms me right down.
Yeah.
Traffic is one of my triggers. I have a few, but that's one of them. When I'm stuck in traffic and I start breathing, doing the 5 series of breaths. So,
like an exercise, right? Just another way of training yourself to respond to certain things, to stay centered and stay balanced. Speaking of books, what do you like to read if you're a reader, right? I get it.
I am a reader. I like to read. I like to listen to podcasts, and then I actually usually just read the transcript. Sometimes I don't have time to sit through the whole thing, but I'm obviously a big follower of Dave Asprey's. I like to hear what he has to say, and I like the people he has on his podcast. Ryan Muncie, some of the doctors and people that I follow, like Dr. Perlmutter, love him. Dr. Mark Hyman. Huge. I love Dr. Mark Hyman. Just Jason Fung, another one of my favorite books.
Yeah.
So, just those are the people I tend to read, whether they are publishing things online. I'm a big online reader, so even though I have all these physical books, but I like to read things online. So I try to stay up and current on whatever they're talking about, and it's always very relevant to me, and helps me stay educated on the things that I care about.
That's awesome. I'm gonna put those as recommendations, and I love some of the authors. I read the books, and just for me too, I need to start catching up. Sometimes you slack. You know how those periods of times when you're more active and more reading and and sometimes you just get that knowledge and go implement it and teach it. It's probably familiar to you too.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah.
So I'm going to start wrapping up, and I have 2 important questions. First one is about you, and another one is for my readers and for your readers too. So first one is, where is your business and your activities? Where do you think you're headed? Where do you see yourself in a few years? Where do you want it? Because you're the influencer, and it's amazing. You do those little things or big things that matter for others. But I feel like you have an agenda. You have more in store. You have in a good way, in the most positive way.
Absolutely.
A mission, I would say. Agenda is probably the wrong word.
No offense taken, not at all. And it's funny because it's still kind of, I still don't know 100%, but I feel like, I've been working on a cookbook for a long time. I feel like it's somewhere in that arena, a cookbook / book, just to share kind of things that I've learned, and for mostly women who can relate to my situation, I guess, whatever that may be, and so along those lines, just kind of sharing my knowledge like that with as many people as I possibly can. So I guess I would say like cookbook, book / thing, but that's really about it. I don't have any big grand plans of anything. In fact, even with my coaching business, I don't even, I usually, I'm very high touch, so I usually try to keep it to 1 client, believe it or not, at a time, max 2 or 3, and then I go periods of time where I take a break and I don't, because it takes a lot out of me.
Yeah.
When I'm working with a client one-on-one, I just, it's like I'm 100% there. So
invested
completely. Yeah. And in fact, it's I'm probably not the best health coach because I basically, it's like, if we don't completely click, I'm like, it's probably not a good idea. If you're going to ask me when it's cheat meal day, we're probably not going to be a good pair,
Oh,
things like that.
another.
So it's like, I don't know, my window is very narrow. So anyway, I don't do a big push on that at all. Yeah, I don't know. I say book, cookbook kind of thing.
Yeah, that's big, and I'm so excited. I want to be on the wait list.
Thank you.
Can I get on the wait list, please?
So
Seriously,
sweet.
I'm really thrilled to see it. I think
Thank
you're going to do an amazing job on that. And with coaching, I can totally relate because I think it's also practice for coaches and figuring that out how you want to take your business, who you want to work with, who you don't want to work with because you want to protect them from you because you're not going to be the best fit, right? You just
you. Yes, I do want to protect them from me, for sure. I'm definitely not the best fit.
it's a relationship, right? It's a
Yeah.
relationship after all. It's a very intimate area, especially for women in the women's world of fitness and health. That's very intimate.
And
And
if you care deeply the way, we both do,
yeah,
you really care about the person and each person that you're, engaged with, whether it's, for a moment on social media or in a one-on-one coaching situation. I mean, you do care,
yeah.
So.
And then you get emotionally involved, and then they leave and you drop tears. But you're happy for them because they did a good job, right?
Yeah, exactly. So.
And my last question was, what one piece of advice would you give women who want to be, you're very connected with your body, you're very in tune. What would you tell a woman who wants to be like you or feel like you, feel connected, feel knowing what's going on, feel that she's fueling her body with the right things and exercising the right way? What would you recommend?
Um, this is probably going to sound self-serving, but I don't mean it to. I would say do all your own research and education. There's a wealth of information. I just named a bunch of authors. There's a wealth of information available out there. Do all of that and go to a health coach that you respect and admire, someone like yourself, and engage with someone when you've reached the level of saturation that you can do yourself and you feel like I still have 10,000 questions. Hopefully by then you've narrowed in on, an area, maybe it's primal paleo, maybe it's keto, maybe it's whatever it is. And you can identify a coach that is versed in that can help you take it to the next level. I would say do something like that. What I think I would recommend to anyone, their goal should be to get their body right first. Get your body right so that then you can eat intuitively. You can work out intuitively. You can live intuitively. Sounds kind of silly that we have this whole functional movement. Well, I used to just wake up and go to work and then I would do this and then I would eat and then everything was fine. But that's not how it is anymore.
Yeah.
And so I would say that because our bodies have been so jacked with for so long, get your body right, get everything healed and working properly as best as it can, and then live your life, functionally, just eat intuitively, don't eat because you're, craving sugar all the time or, whatever. I got to get into the next, fast food meal or, just be relaxed and at ease and be able to eat what your body needs at that moment. And it's different at different times.
That's beautiful, and I think that would help. If I'm trying to implement it and kind of see it through the lenses of some women. I think our social media and our information sources are so cluttered with that idea of, do this now, dieting mentality. Pretty much, it's very deeply ingrained in our brains. And I work with clients all the time. They're scheduling their next cheat meal, and that's not a good mindset, right? So getting your body to the point where you don't even need to think about it. And if you want to have, of course, you can go into it.
Yeah, you can eat whatever you want.
Yeah.
But it's because you wanted to eat that at that moment. It wasn't a cheat meal. It was just a meal that you had, and it was no big deal, you know, and,
Yeah,
you know,
there's no importance, and I think it's absolutely beautiful. You said that you get your body right, and I think you referred. But correct me if I'm wrong. I don't want to make an assumption that it's getting your health, and that's getting your gut health, and getting your hormones,
yes,
and not only the shape that can be beautiful, but can be absolutely destroyed inside by if it fits your macros approach or whatever approach people choose. And no, nothing against it, but I'm just saying that there's so many things that can go wrong when you're just taking care of the physique and aesthetics, right?
for
So,
sure. Exactly. You have to feel good. You have to get your body right, your gut, all of that. Yeah, we didn't even talk about that earlier, but yeah, that was when we were on that subject. I meant to mention, you know, gut health, but I think, you know, these are all things that we're all focused on right now. And when your uh, gut, you know, the whole thing is, you know, functioning properly, your, you know, that gut brain axis, your mind is working better,
yeah.
you're happier, you're more comfortable, you're less bloated, you're just like everything is just better. Life's good, you know,
I know. I
it
love
should be good.
and I
So you
really hope that people like you are gonna you're bringing it to the masses and you say people and you engage and it's absolutely beautiful. I think it's so inspiring that you keep doing it. No matter what kind of day you had someone cut you off on the road or you had a beautiful workout that morning, right? And we'll never know. But no, I absolutely love it. I think it's absolutely beautiful and phenomenal in a way. I love it.
thank you. Right back at you. Oh my gosh. I love all your stuff too. I know we've talked about me the whole time, but
Thanks.
I love all your stuff.
You're the important one today.
Oh, yay.
I really appreciate your time. I probably could ask you 500 more questions. I really appreciate your time today.
For
And
another day, another time. We'll do it again.
well. And I hope you have a wonderful day. And I can't
Thank you. You too.
share
Thank
it.
you so much, Anya. I really appreciate it. Thank you.